What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Different Views podcast. Special guest on with us today. Our first guest on the Different Views podcast, my boy Connor from the 330. Appreciate you having you. Appreciate you coming on, bro. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I'm Connor. I run my own training business called Guys Court. Yeah, I'm definitely blessed to be on here, man. I've been checking you guys out periodically through the gram and stuff like that. And I think the platform you guys have on Different Views is really good, man. So I'm excited to be on.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate you coming on. Like he said, God's Court is his training, and I feel like I've told him already, but I feel like he's the best trainer in Ohio for sure. But let's just dive in and just getting to know who you are. Let's tell us a little bit about like where you grew up, where you come from.
I was actually born in Steubenville, lived in East Liverpool, and grew up in Bolivar. So, uh, yeah, man, it's been crazy. I've definitely been able to be around a lot of different demographics, and I think that's a blessing of mine. Um, and also lived in Louisville, Kentucky, and Copley as well. So, yeah, man, I think my upbringing and where I'm from just kind of molded me to who I am today, and I'm blessed for it.
Yeah, for sure. And I told you I moved a lot of different schools. I've been in a lot of different schools, so I feel like definitely moving around has definitely helped me learn different personalities, different people, different cultures as well. I definitely feel that. So my first question for you is what made you want to get into training?
Um, so yeah, man, like growing up, went through a lot of injury problems. So I kind of just seen the game from a different view, and I kind of fell in love to the coaching and the training aspect of the game. And also, when I was in Louisville, Kentucky, actually, my dad had moved us to a hotel, and the the gym up the street was kind of my only getaway. And at that gym, there was three brothers, Robert, Walter, and Kevin,
Mm-hmm.
and they were in the gym faithfully. So I had the opportunity to just kind of watch how they worked out and the drills that they did, and it really just sprung my imagination. I don't think at the time I really knew what it was, but I think further
Yeah,
on down the line, I look back and like the way God kind of put me into situations and molded me, it was like, this was kind of ordained and destined.
no, I feel that for sure.
I think initially after the first one, man, I kind of went in there just freelancing and just kind of doing my thing, trying to see what my niche was in the game. And initially, it just my first workout was high level in my opinion, and it kind of got a lot of love and a lot of views, and that's kind of what took me off. So I think off my first workout, I kind of gained the confidence, and I thought to myself, I can really do it.
Yeah. And who was your the first player you trained? Your first
De'Allen
workout?
Jackson. Yep. So he's a Hoban graduate. Ended up going to Mount Union, D3 All American.
Yeah.
Very very good basketball player, man. And after that, he also told me like, man, I like to work out with you more, and that kind of just gave me the confidence to keep going for real, man.
Where'd y'all work out at?
And it was the Barberton YMCA, man.
Got out
So,
the mud.
oh
Yeah, I
yeah,
feel it. So when you
yeah.
went to that first workout, like what was you thinking as far as like on a confidence level? Because I like you said, obviously it takes
Time,
time to
man.
get confidence, but like was you thinking like, man, I gotta make sure everything is perfect, everything is right? Was it like I'm about to just be myself, I'm gonna do what I know I can do?
I mean,
Or
honestly, man,
how was
like
that feeling?
I really didn't know, so I kind of
Yeah,
just went in there just freelance. I mean, I was kind of too innocent to really know what a good or a bad
yeah.
workout was,
It
so
just came to you.
it just came to me. Yeah. I think I honestly now I think I get more nervous in high level workouts now because I expect so much from myself.
Yeah, I
Back in the
feel
day,
that.
I was just like, man, I'm young, I'm doing this shit for free, so it's like,
Yeah,
what I mean? I'm really just here to help you, so I don't care if you like it or not. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I mean, obviously, further on down the line, not even now, but a year or two into the game, I was like, I'm actually getting pretty good at this stuff. But I think now, me personally, I really understand footwork,
yeah.
and I really understand like what it takes to become a good basketball player. So it's a
Hmm.
lot different and a lot more pressure.
Hmm.
Having players that I've had and stuff like that. So yeah, man, back in the day, it was just innocent, dude. It was fun. So I didn't really look at it like that.
Yeah. I feel like, I mean, just my personal opinion, I feel like you should find a little bit of a balance with that
Hmm.
because I swear, like, well, not necessarily I took it that way, but like I took it that way for a little bit. I would say like probably like a month where I was like feeling like because I got more people, I'm like, man, I really like got to be honed in on this specific workout, make sure everything is detailed, da, da, da. And then yeah, you want to make sure everything is detailed, but also making sure like the way you said that, like you was having fun with it, and it was like I'm just trying to help you out. So whether you like it or not, like you should still take that approach as far as doing it because knowing what you know and all the shit that you've grown, of course your shit is gonna be more detailed. It's gonna be better. But also make sure they know, like, look, if you like it or not, like I'm giving you the best training out here, like, cause you
Right.
confident in your shit. So still having fun with it and knowing that and like making sure people know, like, it's your decision if you wanna come here or not. But I'm definitely gonna give you the right shit for sure.
And I think me personally, like in the city, I'm not really too worried about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
As far as like pleasing or making it or feeling some type of way, I just think now the
yeah.
platform got so big.
When you
So,
get out.
yeah, so like sometimes I'll be going to workouts and Michigan State or,
Yeah,
Penn State sitting sideline. So
yeah,
my preparation and my organization and my professionalism has to be on a whole nother level.
yeah, for
And
sure.
when you in the city, no disrespect, but I mean I can show up in Crocs and work you out and it still be the best. So it's
Yeah,
like
yeah, definitely.
it's still trying to build that, rapport with now other people higher ups. So,
Yeah,
I'm just reaching a different demographic and stuff like that now.
yeah. The reputation, I get that for sure. But just still have fun with that shit, bro. For
100%.
sure.
Yeah, Ty Brown Jr. was kind of my initiation to Canton.
Dude went
Um,
to McKinley, right?
yeah, so Ty Brown was actually on the 05, '06 state championship team. Ended up going
That
and
was
having
Ray Mar
Ray
and all them.
Moore, yeah, Ray
Oh,
Moore,
okay.
Marcus, Ricky.
Yeah,
So he ended up going to Wright State and having the number one 3-point field goals in Wright State history and having a nice pro career. So he kind of had a lot of love in the city as far as basketball and held a lot of weight. So I think that was kind of my transition to Canton and me getting around in the gyms and stuff like that. And then further on, meeting Kobe Johnson and Chet Harper, which introduced me to Darren Peterson and stuff like that. So
yeah.
I think Ty Brown was the pioneer to that, man.
Who was the first player that you had like go to college?
My first player, honestly, probably Kobe. Yeah, Kobe was probably my first like freshman year. Kind of molded him up, coached with him in high school. Uh,
Yeah,
that was my first kid. I have guys like Andre Lavelle,
yeah,
playing at Coker in South Carolina. So I met Dre late, so I don't really
yeah,
take credit for that. Obviously, I helped him, but Dre was always a committed kid. So, but Kobe was my first like raw build.
yeah. Like where
So
y'all got it in for real.
yeah, like that was my first. Yeah, I want to work with this kid. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
obviously, I worked with like Malachi Branham and stuff like that. But
yeah.
I think Kobe was my first staple,
That was that first connection,
first
like
connection. Yeah,
where it went off. He went to what school?
West Virginia.
West V. Okay.
Yeah,
What position you play?
he was a point guard, man. He was actually Cam McKinley's all-time leading scorer.
Oh, you got
Um,
the record?
yeah, he got the record now. Yeah,
That's dope.
I think he scored 1,533 points. So
That's
ended
dope.
up Division I Player of the Year. So he had a great career, man. Still has a great career
How
left.
was it? Was it difficult training in Canton? Like, and I say that to say like with the athletes alone, and then like with the outside noise, because like I know the kids can be like they can be a handful, like getting
Sure.
them in the gym and things like that. So
Because you
I
trained
think
them in Canton too, right? Is that what you saying that?
yeah.
yeah, like because with me training in Canton, like it's difficult
yeah,
working with them. Like, but they need it though. They need that. They need a you. You
I
know.
mean, I personally feel like I got lucky with the kind of kids that I got.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I feel like the basketball kids was different than the
yeah,
football
like
ones.
my camp was cool. Like my kids loved it. I fought more, not like face to face or conversation wise. I think I just fought with more of the outside hate, just being
yeah,
not being a camp kid, and that's one of the things I learned the most. Is it's a very prideful city,
yeah,
and they really lean on their own, but they don't really like somebody else coming in and helping. So
Man,
um,
that is crazy.
I mean, hey, so I mean, I think me personally, I struggle with the fact that like I'm just genuinely trying to help. I don't
And
have
I
no
don't see that.
intentions or nothing. And they, exactly, they don't see that, and they judge. He don't do this or he don't do that, and it's like, dude, I probably seen 5 grown men walk in my gym and actually see how I teach. So,
Yeah,
it's been difficult because I have a heart. I don't think it's been difficult as far as like waking up every day and doing what I do. Um,
yeah,
I just think sometimes, I want more support for sure. And I think
Yeah,
just,
agree on that.
I mean, it's not like gonna hurt my business or anything like that. But I do think sometimes I do wish I had more support from the city itself. But yeah, to answer your question, yeah, it's been difficult, man. It ain't been easy for sure.
how did you deal with all that hate? Like, what do you think helped you deal with that? Is you think the kids or like what helped you get through that shit?
I think success.
Yeah,
Um, I just think
numbers.
numbers. Yeah, man. Like you a Larry June fan, but it's not. It's not anything that I don't think it's anything that's gonna stop me. So it's just becoming successful, man. Like once I had like a kid like Darren,
Yeah.
and everybody was saying like he was a talented kid, so he was gonna be good like that.
Hmm.
I tried to find another one.
Right.
I tried to go
Yeah.
and give me another one, man, and I did.
Hmm.
So I worked with another kid. His name's actually Nicolo Bundulo. Went to
That's a tall
Green.
white kid.
Yep, tall white kid, man. Yep, and
Yeah, he look nice. I watched his
yeah, man.
highlights.
And so I ended up getting my hands on him when he was a freshman, and now he's number 21, and
Yeah,
he's
that's
got
dope.
USA mini camp coming up, Texas offer, Arizona, and anybody, dang near everybody but Kentucky and Duke. So,
Yeah,
I'm just continuously trying to find something that can get my mind off of what everybody else is saying, so I
yeah,
can dig into the grind.
I feel that. So let's talk a little bit about, if you comfortable with, let's talk a little bit about Darren and
Sure.
how it started and like where it's at right now.
So yeah, man, I think he was around when it really first started going on. So he was young. I want to say he was 5th grade when I first started working with him.
Yeah, I don't mean to cut you off, but so Darren Peterson is his name, right?
Yep,
And
Darren Peterson. Yep.
how old is
He's
he?
he's 16 now. He's the number 1 guard in the country. Number 2
Mhm.
player overall in the class of 2025.
Yeah,
Um, Considered the best scorer in the country right now, regardless of class. Um, yeah, man, we got started in about the 5th grade, and obviously, at the time, you don't really know what's gonna come from that. So
yeah,
it was just one of those times where I was young and in love with the game and just trying to stay around it, like I said before. So it was pretty organic. It was
hmm,
just an everyday thing. Wasn't really any money involved. It wasn't nothing like that. So it was just all love, and just to kind of see how it's transpired so far is pretty crazy, man. Like
yeah,
ins and outs of the games. Like I know Darren's game to a T. Like when I could go and watch him in AAU and stuff like that, I'm able to just sit back and enjoy it, man. Like
yeah,
um, I mean, it's a life changing thing for sure, man, because you've seen a kid put in so much work.
yeah.
And I genuinely think if I wasn't here, it'd be the same thing, man, just because of who he was.
That's
Um,
dope.
so yeah, man, it's pretty special, dude, because you've seen him when he was five foot
Yeah,
five, 5'6", big feet.
yeah,
Um, Not really knowing his game yet. So, and other than that, man, off the floor stuff, being able to just kind of be his friend and his mentor,
yeah,
and knowing I'm one of the guys that he's gonna call when he needs something or wants to talk about something is pretty special, man, especially for who he is.
yeah. That's dope. That's dope. Proud of you for helping somebody out, man. Like you said, a lot of people around there don't understand. It ain't even about just basketball. It's about helping a kid get to where what he wants to do in life. Whether it was
Yep.
basketball, school, just being a good person. Like helping a kid doing what he want to do, rather than what most of the motherfuckers in 330 be doing for kids or not doing.
Not
That
doing,
shit,
yeah,
people should be appreciating that shit. So I'm
for
proud of you
sure.
for that
And
shit,
I
bro.
think it's dope. I think it's truly dope, man, because kind of growing up and looking back on my life, I was terrified of my dad. I was
Yeah.
terrified of my parents, you know what I mean, as far as just like telling them certain things about my life that I didn't feel comfortable with.
Yeah.
And I always gravitated towards a mentor or a basketball coach that I go up to him and tell him about something that I was going through.
Yeah.
So, me being that avenue now is a blessing
Yeah.
because, I still have mentors to this day that, I may have met fifth, sixth, seventh grade. To this day, I call them, man. And if I'm going through something, I know I can reach out to them.
Yeah.
And so knowing that I'm that guy now, I'm that vessel, it's everything to me, bro. It's everything.
Yeah, that's dope.
Like, my career taught me as much as you help somebody else, you have to help yourself, man. Like, I had
Mhm.
a prior stretch in these past couple years where, I mean, to be truthfully honest, where it was kind of hard
Mhm.
because I was so in love with my career, I was so in love with my job, and I don't care who you are, when you do it for a certain amount of time, man, it gets tiring.
Yeah.
So, my job, I mean, my career really taught me how to, take a step back and understand how you work and how I click and what other, outside noise and because it can affect you, man. So I think just the overall um, toughness, perseverance, humbleness. I mean, you name it, man. Like it's taught me everything, bro. Yeah, I mean, it's changed my life. Like business. I mean, I didn't jump into this thinking about business, but like,
Man.
how to scale something. How can you make the most out of what you have? I mean, it's demographic or resources. I
Mhm.
think just taking advantage of who you are, um, being cocky in a sense, man. Knowing who
Yeah.
you are, like I said, man, and just knowing your worth. I mean, it's taught me confidence too, man. It's taught me a lot of things. I mean, I could go on and on and on, but I just think the number one thing, man, is just a perseverance and knowing who I am, who I am.
Yeah. That's dope. Help you find your real purpose and who you are, like you
For
said.
sure.
That shit is dope. Um, so as far as like training in Ohio, I mean, obviously in that area, but just in Ohio in general, I mean, I know it's not like the best access for everything. So like, do you feel like it's harder as far as training in Ohio than other places? Like as far as the resources, access, and all that?
Yeah, I do genuinely think from a resource and access standpoint, maybe economics as well. I
Yeah,
do think it's pretty difficult here.
yeah,
Um, but I think at this point in my career, it's very good for me because it's talent here.
yeah,
As much as it's a small spot, as much as it's,
yeah. It's
far
underrated, right?
very underrated, man. I've been in a lot of places in my life, man. I done played college ball in Philadelphia. I grew up in Akron, so I grew up around the St. V's and the Hobans and stuff like that. So, I mean, I've seen a lot of basketball, fam, and I genuinely say, like, I put my area against a lot of people, fam. Not
Man,
just,
bruh. I be trying to tell motherfuckers, bro, like, cause when I go, cause I was a hooper at heart,
yeah,
bro, and everybody know, like, I was way better at football. But like, if I go somewhere, I'm trying to hoop,
who,
like,
yeah,
so every time, shit, I got to Columbus. I mean, obviously that's still Ohio, but like,
right,
basketball team or football team, we going to hoop. When I got to the league, I'm finding the nearest
right.
YMCA or 24-hour fitness, going to hoop, and I'm just looking at motherfuckers like in Houston. I'm just like, bro, like Ohio, bro,
And
like
who?
we underrated as fuck in hoop football. Like,
Every
but when
day.
I go hoop, I'm just like, bro, y'all not like that. Like, I will get motherfuckers from Ohio, get 5, and we will come run y'all. Like, these dudes is not like that, bro. And I
It's,
just know from seeing the rec in Ohio, like that shit is way different, bro.
and it's funny, man. Like, I know I have a friend from Baltimore I played in college with, man, and Baltimore is
Yeah,
supposed to be a hoop state. Like,
yeah,
I went out there. Obviously, it was a bunch of no disrespect, but a bunch of hood motherfuckers with hella handle.
yeah.
Like that's what it was.
And they wasn't
My,
nothing else.
it wasn't nothing else. Like I couldn't find nothing else other than that. And
Yeah,
I had a roommate in New York that grew up in New York. He was
yeah,
just a loud, obnoxious motherfucker that he could hoop though.
yeah,
But like Ohio got everything. They got
yeah,
they got size. They got. I mean, think about it. C.J. Koof, Brian. I mean, you list goes on and on. Terry Rozier. Like, there's a lot of guys out here that are
yeah.
nice, man, and they from
Right,
Ohio. And the game,
exactly.
and it's very pure. Like the game out here is very pure. Like a lot of
Yeah,
skilled basketball players, they can shoot, make the right decision. Like some of these
Yeah.
other places that they lack. I mean, obviously, I think Texas is legit. I think Cali, Florida. Um, but I don't think those are homegrown states. I think those kids moved there. You know, like those
Yeah.
kids, like
Right.
like LeBron James Juniors and stuff. They're really Ohio kids. That's where they got their
Right.
game at. But
Exactly.
they live in Cali now. Like
Right. And they all come
Chicago,
back and hooped in Ohio.
Chicago turn.
Yeah.
Um, where else? A nice state, man. Like, but it's random states like Utah,
Yeah.
uh, Maine. Like Maine got some crazy kids now, man. Like the Cooper Flag kid, man. It's just,
Oh,
but
he
I
from
think,
Maine?
man, you hip to Cooper.
Yeah, I seen
So
him.
he from Maine, man. He
He cold.
crazy. Yeah,
He
he crazy,
cold.
man. Like
He cold.
I remember actually watching Utah prospects this year. They ended up winning the Adidas Gauntlet.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, bro. Like they bopped our 17 UG. It was like they was in the Elite Eight. Like this wasn't no scrubs. Like we had D1
Yeah.
guys, they had D1 guys.
Yeah.
They best player got in foul trouble, man. They brought in 2, 3 white boys off the bench that was like 6'8", just loading us
Snap.
up. Yeah. And you would
That's
think
crazy.
Utah, like who would think that?
Like
So,
who the fuck are you talking?
but I think the game evolving though. The game evolving. I
Yeah.
think areas getting better everywhere. So I just think it's the game of basketball, man. Everybody wants to play it now, so it's gonna keep
Yeah.
getting better and better.
No, I feel like that with football too. And that's what I would be telling people, like, as far as like Ohio, I feel like it's just the lack of resources and access. Like I be telling the kids out here, like, for football, when we go train, every field is just open. The high
Yeah,
schools are open. Like I'm like, bro, after school, if it ain't no practice, everything's shut. Unless you got
it's
a
over
coach
with.
that you know, you know what I'm saying?
And even
Like,
then, like I mean,
yeah, they
I
ain't got
know at
they got
McKinley
those.
right now they got all them fields that they just put in, fam.
They lock all them shits.
They lock all the fields up. I gotta jump the fence as a coach, like
That's crazy.
so.
I ain't even know that.
And you gotta pay like
Pay the user, yeah,
and obviously you gotta use. I mean, like the varsity football team obviously got a field, like the soccer
yeah,
team got a field. But if you're not like on schedule or you're not paying, you're not getting that field. So,
yeah. That's
eh,
fucking wild.
especially when you
Yeah,
got 8 of them things, like, and they trying to get money per hour. So I just think I do
yeah.
think there's resources out here. I just think it's a lot of greedy motherfuckers out here, man.
Greedy
In
for
my opinion.
sure. Yeah, and it's new, so that's what they're gonna try to do. Like you said, them all new fields, so
They're
they
gonna take
like, shit. We
advantage.
paid for this shit. We about to try to get the money back on that
But
shit.
I just kind of wanted to know, like, what's some things you got like planned in the future, like for yourself and like for like your brand.
I think right now I'm trying to get an app going. I think that's my next biggest move.
As
Yeah,
far
man.
as the app, what you mean? Like, what would the
I'm
app have?
more content based,
Yeah,
where I can just directly off my website. I mean, I'm trying to get probably a year's worth of content, so probably gonna take 48 to 50 hours of recording,
yeah,
and then editing, obviously. So, and I want to go ahead and just kind of do daily drills, weekly progressions and stuff like that, live workouts, and just kind of give an avenue to reach my stuff globally, instead of
yeah.
it just kind of being um, local. And also, when I am out of town or I am doing something, people can still purchase and still work out with me. So I
Mhm.
think that's my biggest thing right now, man. Just trying to figure out a way to get that uploaded and get that going. But I mean, everything's so damn expensive right now, man. Like,
Man,
48 to 50 hours of content, bro. That in itself right there is,
them niggas charging 150 an hour.
man. So
They
I know for
wildin'.
me and my website guy, he wants me to do 750 a month, bro. So um,
Damn.
whenever I'm ready to get that done, I think that'll be my next move. And then off of that, man, just trying to continue on doing what I'm doing, man. Trying to get my players to the league, bro. That's my main focus right now. I'm trying to get 2 players in the first round, so I think that's my biggest goal. And then other than that, man, just trying to work on myself a little bit more, man. I became pretty mentally weak, if I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like, um, as a man, I kind of reached everything I ever prayed for, man. To be honest, so I'm just trying to find another um, way to just get my mindset back, man, and focus on a new goal. And just trying to level up that way, man, for real.
You think mentally? You say you reached your goal and you got mentally weak
Yeah, yeah,
because you felt like you didn't know your next purpose, your next step for yourself.
yeah. So man, I used to pray. I mean, I still pray, but I used to pray that I want to have a training business that's going to be able to provide. I want to train with so and so, so and so. Like, man, I can't make this up, man. I used to pray like, man, what if I got to train Bronny James, like,
Yeah,
just something little like that,
yeah,
and it happened.
right.
Like, man, I want to turn somebody into a leaguer.
Hmm.
I mean, it ain't happened yet, but it's happening.
Right.
So, I just think, finding my motivation again, um, and locking back in, man. Like, I feel invincible in a sense, bro. I feel like nothing bad can happen to me because of what I've done and how I help and stuff like that. But life don't spare nobody, bro. So I just got to move a little bit differently, a little bit more carefully, um,
Yeah.
and try to keep my impact alive, man. Like I was big on that when I was young.
Mhm.
Like I was big on the way people viewed me. The way people, if somebody approached me, they talk about this. Now they talk about that. Like
Yeah.
just kind of getting my impact back to where it was, and so I can start, you know, putting a good word out there again for real, man.
Yeah. Do you feel like you around the right people to do that?
I think that's something I always struggle with because of how much I moved. Like
Yeah.
I've always had a lot of seasonal relationships.
Yeah.
I haven't had a lot of solid stuff. So um, no, I don't think my circle where it's at.
Yeah.
But I also don't think that's on me either. I just think that's on other people. Like certain
Yeah.
people that I would like in my circle have a lot of stuff going on. Um,
Yeah.
and everybody kind of at a weird point in their life, man. Like we're getting a little bit older, bro. Like
Yeah.
a lot of my friends are happily engaged or happily in a couple relationship or, having kids now,
Yeah.
venturing off and stuff like that. So, parents getting older, brother moving away. I just think it became more solitary and I don't do good alone. I'm not an introverted kid. I'm an extroverted kid. So I always need people around. And
Yeah.
growing up, I think noticing your most valued times are when you're by yourself, man. That's when you find yourself the most. So,
Solitude, man. You need that
and,
shit.
and I struggle with it. I don't like,
Yeah.
when I'm struggling or when I'm going through something, I want to be around people.
Yeah.
Um, and sometimes they pour in you correctly, sometimes they don't. So
Yeah.
they might be able to help you even more, or they might be able to hurt your cause again. So, um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I'm
man.
actually the opposite. That's crazy because I've been an introverted kid. I've been my mom's only child, or I am my mom's only child, but I live by myself with her growing up until I moved with my dad. But I was always introverted and I always was just like by myself. So I learned how to handle a lot of shit by myself. And I feel like one thing that I do, I don't know if it'll work for you or not, but just in a advice tip is to like reminisce. But like, so one thing I do is like go through my phone. I go through old ass pictures, like
Mhm.
way back in the day, or old high school photos, old videos, like old vines of me and my cousins or my brothers and sisters, or like just anything that will make you just like laugh, because laughing is the strongest emotion. Like
Yeah.
it overpowers anything. So I feel like anything that can help you like laugh or just remember some good times whenever you're in solitude. Meditation, I feel like that shit is overrated right now. And meditating, I feel like when people hear meditate, they think like just hum. Like no, that's not
Yeah.
meditating. Like meditating is when you just think and you just clear your mind. Not even think, you just clear everything. So like, say you listen to a song and you just ain't thinking about nothing. You just clearing your mind, and music just help you, like something like that, or just sitting watching a basketball game, like you a trainer, or just watching one of your workouts and it's just clearing your mind. Like that's meditating.
And I
So
think too,
meditating more too.
like, man, what makes you, it
Mm-hmm.
breaks you also. Like
Mm-hmm.
my strongest suit is that I think. I'm a thinker.
Yeah,
I'm intellectual, man. I'm deep.
yeah. You gotta
So
relax.
I have a hard time relaxing. Some of them
Yeah.
tell me to smoke weed. I don't like smoking weed. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So
I don't smoke
none.
at all.
You know what I'm saying?
So
So I'm trying to find other ways
yeah,
because I could sit here all day long, man, pet my puppy, whatever. You know what I mean? Listen to my
yeah,
favorite song, like, and sit back. But I'm still,
yeah,
even when I sleep, man, I'm dreaming. So,
yeah,
um, I wake up and it just is a constant battle, especially with you thinking about your career or you thinking about, dang, if you ever gonna get married or whatever it is, man. Like, you can drown yourself, man. So I do think, that solitude, like you said, man, maybe doing some meditation, just taking a step back and reminiscing and recollecting on your life and how far you came. I don't do that enough. So,
yeah.
and this past
Appreciate
year, man, I
those
gained
small
so much, man,
wins.
for sure.
Yeah. Appreciate those small little wins and progress, man. Cause I got to that sense too, to that point. I was telling Dejan the other day when we had talked. So obviously, like I made it to the NFL. So like I've been doing movements and like backpedaling, breaking. I've been doing all type of athletic shit, right? And it's just like I'm to the point where I've been rehabbing for 2 years, right? And
Hmm.
it was I want to say last week or maybe a week and a half ago. I did a run and I did like some back pull, I did some movement. Like I did all the shit that I normally used to be able to do. And it's just like when I would get to that point, like 2 months ago, I would be so focused on going the next day and trying to do it again because I'm like, I ain't back on the field yet. So I'm like not really appreciating that little workout that I had of me doing the shit because I was so used to doing that before. So when I did it last week and I did it without no pain. So basically like when I backpedal and do like any cuts, sprinting, anything hard, my leg throbs. So like when I didn't have any pain the other day when I did it, or last week, I literally like dropped to my knees and I just like prayed, like, and then I prayed again when I got home and I was just like I was just thanking God like that I was able to get through the workout like without pain. And then after I did that, I just started like thinking of all the stuff that I was just taking advantage of, not even really taking advantage of, but just not appreciating it enough.
Hmm.
Cause it's just like I was doing that shit before and I'm used to doing that shit and I'm getting back to it. So it's like I want more, I want more, I want more. But like
You're not
really
gonna take it for
appreciating,
granted. Yeah, you're not gonna take
yeah,
it for
really
granted.
appreciating that little shit. And like you said, like all the shit that you've overcome and did, like shit, 2 years ago, not even 2 years, a year ago, I couldn't even run. I couldn't even walk up the steps, run up the steps without pain. So it's just like little shit like that. Definitely appreciating it. That definitely helps with your
And
mental too.
I think too, man, like, being faith driven. Me personally, I went to a Christian college.
Yeah,
So my first 2 years of college, man, like, between us, but my brother overdosed, you know what I'm saying? Mom had cancer, stuff like that. So I was
yeah,
deep in my faith.
yeah,
Like, I mean, as deep as I could go. I
yeah.
wasn't drinking, smoking, nothing, man. I was,
Right,
hooping and I had that structure where I had to go to church every day and stuff like that.
right.
Um, and I think at some point along the line where I felt like all that good I was doing,
Yeah,
I deserved it back.
right.
And I never was getting it back.
Mm-hmm.
So, it kind of took me into, instead of having that loving heart, it turned me into like what they wanted you to do, what the devil wanted you to do. They wanted you to be a hater. They
Yeah,
wanted you to do all that stuff. So,
right.
at this point in my life, man, I'm thinking it's everything else, but I do sometimes think, man, it's just, waking up, praying,
Yeah,
getting into your word and just giving thanks, bro. And
yeah. I mean,
just
you getting
putting,
all that shit now. That shit,
ex-
it's coming.
and,
It's coming.
and that's the crazy thing, bro. That's the crazy thing. Like, life is going to work a cycle, man. Like, you're going to have ups and downs in life, man. Life is
Yeah,
2% wins, man, 98% struggle. Like, you
yeah.
ain't going, it's just not always going to go the way you want to go, man. And
Right. If you
you just
wake
got to
up,
keep working.
man, if you blessed, if you wake up, because
Amen.
somebody didn't wake up today. You know what I'm saying? Uh, you got anything else? I got one more question, but if you got one more or two more,
I mean, he kind of went into depth of kind of what I was going to say next, but kind of answered that. I'm gonna.
all right. I got one more question. Since you a basketball trainer,
Uh-huh.
who your top three players in the league? Well, actually, because they ain't in this season right now. From last season, who your top three players and why?
I got to go with the Joker, number one.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, obviously, man, he won the ship. I think he impacted the game more than anybody in all
Yeah.
aspects. I think he scored the ball, rebounded, facilitated, got his team involved.
Hmm.
Number two, like it's gonna sound crazy, man. Like I have a very like unorthodox opinion on that kind of stuff. Like a lot of people
Yeah.
say like a
You're a
Devin
trainer.
Booker.
It's different.
Like
I
I'm a
understand.
big I'm
That's
a
why I'm
big
asking you.
I'm a big fan of Jamal Murray too, though. So like
For real?
I love Jamal Murray. I think he a top 5 guard in the league. Like I mean,
Yeah. And he
like
came back from injury too.
came back from injury, so I can't go away from Steph.
Yeah.
Like I just can't. It's hard for me to go away from a guy like Bron. But
Yeah.
then again, you go over to the Cavs, man. Like Donovan Mitchell was balling on a lower scale.
Yeah.
Like De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can't give you a set in stone top 3 because I think there's a lot of guys, but I do think the Joker the best player in the NBA. Though. I can tell you
Yeah.
that
All right, bet. I fuck
100%.
with that. Who the best player in Ohio right now?
High
Besides
school,
there.
high
Besides
school.
there. Yeah. High school.
I mean, Nico number 1 right now, but
Oh, I forgot you said Nico was number 1. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
he number 1 in Ohio right now to me. But my favorite player in Ohio right now is Corey Lickens. Man, it's not even close.
Oh, for real?
I
He nice
love
like
Ja'Cory.
that?
I
I
love
heard
Ja'Cory.
everybody talking about how he nice.
Like he got one of those games, bro, where like he just fun to watch, man. Like he's just fun to
Yeah.
watch, bro. He gotta like
How old is he?
he a senior this year.
He'll be a senior this year?
Yeah.
Or he is a
So
senior this year?
yeah, he a
Okay.
senior. So he one of them guys. You go to a game, and it's like, man, I keep on watching this kid. Like
Yeah.
he every time you watch him, you just gravitates towards him, man. His game smooth.
You know
Um,
Ja'Cory?
Yeah, I know him because him and Jamar is best friend.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So like when Jamar would train, Jacory would come and like sit with him, watch him training.
Oh, I do got another question. So, as far as like training, like, what do you think is like unique about your training?
Um, I think I'm versatile, man. Like I
Yeah.
think I can help multiple positions.
Hmm.
Obviously I got to get better at the post and stuff like that. But as far as like 1 through 3, and
Yeah.
maybe turning a 4 into a 2 or a
Hmm.
4 into a 3, I think I'm a Swiss Army knife, man. Like my game personally, I can shoot.
Yeah.
So like that's where I feel like my niche is at because I can really show you how to shoot or to
Hmm.
motivate you how to shoot because you can't shoot better than me
Yeah.
or whatever it is. So I think what my uniqueness is I can do a lot of different things, man. Like I know my footwork very well. Like I know
Yeah.
footwork very well, man. Like um I can work on a lot of touch, teach you a lot of floaters, and just adapting to the player, man. Like being
Yeah.
able to take a player and say, okay, well, I try to show this kid what I normally show people, but he just ain't getting it. So let me try to help his game. Like let me try to enhance his game and who he is. And
Hmm.
just not change a player but help a player, man. So I think, I mean, I can put it in perspective for Millie. Like I think Millie has a unique game in himself. In itself, like you have one of those kids you train, like you could tell he's better in game.
Yeah.
I get that. So when I train him, I'm trying to tell him stuff about the game.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell him like how to manage it or how to get to your spots or whatever it is. So I think it's not as deep with him.
Yeah.
So me being able to know that and being able to know who you are as a player and as a person, I think
Yeah.
is what makes me good at what I do.
That's dope. No, I appreciate it because that's the way I think when I'm training players. As far as like you said, that stuck with me when you said helping the player, not changing the player.
Yeah.
Like
And I
I'm
think a lot
definitely
of
big
times,
on
man,
that.
when you coming from where you come from or who you are, like sometimes we go in there selfishly. Like I know how to you don't know how
Yeah.
to change every player, man. That's just a
Yeah.
lie.
No,
Like
yeah, for sure.
you can go in there with a mapped out plan, like as you should, because that's what we
Right.
do. But
Every player is different.
everybody's different. Man. Like
Everybody.
Darren is not the same as my man Jaleel, and Jaleel is not the same as Jacory. So
Yeah.
Dre was funny, man, because he had just weird movements,
Yeah.
like he was
He was
bold. Like,
unorthodox.
yeah, like his game wasn't what I wanted it to be. But the more and more I watched him play, and I would see certain moves that he would do, or that footwork he loved doing. So I would try to bounce off of that, and I would try to
Yeah.
work with him on it. Like,
Right.
obviously, if I get a fifth, sixth grader, I'm gonna try to build him into the perfect image of what I want. But like,
Right.
at some point, I'm like, okay, this kid's game is a little bit tweaky. Like,
Right.
let me try to
This is
help.
what he is. Let me
That's
try to
what he
help
is. Yeah.
what he is. Yeah.
Like me trying to go get a Joker or Hezzy, Hezzy pull up, he ain't gonna do that. Like,
Right.
But it's funny, man. I heard some stories of guys like potentially getting a pro, and then being on
Mhm.
the phone with them, and the pros like, "What would you do with my game?" And the
Yeah.
mug like, "I'll fix the holes."
Yeah.
And the pro was like, "What holes? Like, what you talking about?" So in
Right.
that situation, I'd be like, I think I gotta first off just see how you play. I gotta watch how you work out. So
Yeah.
yeah, man, being able to adapt for sure.
Yeah. So you travel with the team, right? The AAU team.
Yep.
What was who was like the best team y'all played, and where was it at? Or where were they from actually? Or what was like
Uh,
the best tournament?
I'll say when we went to Vegas, man, when we had that,
Vegas?
yeah, that we had that showcase on ESPN. That was pretty crazy, bro. We had the number 2, 7, 38, 41 player in the country, and then uh, when we played the Florida Rebels, they had the 5, 15, and 28 or something like that. So
Yeah.
it was just high level talent all over the place. I mean, even when we played the Booster Twins, that's number 1,
Mm.
number 16.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that was the day where I was like sitting back watching, like, yeah, this is a whole nother
Yeah.
level. I'm talking
That shit
about,
felt good.
oh yeah, give you chills. But I actually went back and watched it. Like, bro, it was nuts, man. Like, dudes were down 5, timeout, come out of the timeout, give you 2 straight buckets, tie the game up. They come down, hit a deep three. We come down, hit a deep three. Like, the game
It
really
was
moving at a
crazy.
different level for these kids. Like,
Yeah.
and that's funny, man. When you talk about generations and stuff like that, people oftentimes like say this generation is this or this. Like, I don't appreciate that because A, I'm not from this generation, but
Yeah.
B, I'm just trying to look at the game for what it is. Like,
Yeah.
some of this basketball and some of this sports that's going on right now is very high level, man. Like,
Oh yeah, bro. It's
and
way, way
it,
better.
yeah, it's way better now. It's physical and that's
Yeah,
mental is the
it's more
dogs,
mental. Yeah.
but I do think, yeah, out there in Vegas, man, was pretty crazy, dude. It was. I remember the game on ESPN. That was a special game, man. It was special out there, man.
Yeah. No, I feel like as far as sports, I feel like the generation talk is just because of like the physicality of everything. Like it was less rules back in the day for football and basketball. Like so it was more physical. It was less rules. It was unsafe. It's more technology. It's more resources. It's more trainers. It's more people with knowledge. So of
Amen.
course, it's gonna be more athletes, and it's gonna be better basketball, better football, better whatever of the sports. And obviously, the rules are changing as well. They're trying to make shit safer for people, whether you like it or not. Like it don't matter. Like you're trying to make the game safer for our kids. You know what I'm saying? So
Social media too, though. Like, social media
yeah,
changing the game. Like, back in the
yes,
day, man, there was guys back in the day that was working with all these cats,
right.
but they weren't getting no footage of it and stuff like that. Like,
Exactly.
um,
Everything's on camera.
everything's on camera now. Plus too, like, people gotta understand, man, refereeing is changing. I know in the game
Yeah,
of basketball, there's like people.
everything is changing, bro.
You
In
go to
every
these
sport.
seminars, man. I've been to referee seminars because I try to learn that side of the shit too. Like, I want to go and
Yeah,
see how people make calls and what I can get away with and shit like that. Like, bro,
yeah,
they call everything. Like,
yeah,
they call everything now. So, and then people are
yeah,
like, man, this generation soft. Like, we didn't control the referees.
yeah.
I didn't
Exactly.
control that.
You know what's crazy is when in the league, it's crazy. A quarterback, this dude I had bought his book. He just talked about it today. In the league, every week in the NFL, every like Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on what team you're on, we have a whole meeting about the ref crew. and like literally like basically they stats. So like how you would scout a team, we scout the
Yeah, scout
refs.
the
So
refs.
like we got this crew. You like, oh, he high in offensive holdings, he high in defensive pass interference. Like he got the most calls in false starts. Like, so we gotta know all that shit. And it's like some people really don't be paying attention to that shit. But like when I see that shit, like especially if I see a high DPI, high holding for, and I'm a corner, like I'm looking at that shit, knowing like, look, I need to use my feet this game a lot. Like I can't be real hands on and shit like that. So like, I
Yeah, that's
definitely
crazy,
agree with
man.
what you saying, like about the refs and shit, because that shit definitely happens.
Like, I have some
Like,
referees, like even when I'm playing in these, leagues, I'm like, gosh, damn, man, at least call something, bro. Like, but I just know, like, next time, okay, this cat
yeah,
just don't call it, like, or
yeah,
it's just, it's referee.
yeah. That shit is crazy, but it's definitely getting better as far as, I mean, shit, just as far as the kids' athletic ability. Like these kids is fucking coming out 6'6", 6'7" in high school. It's freshmen, it's eighth graders, 6'5", 6'2". You got people that's running 4.3s and 4.2s. It's just like it's so much more advancement. Like it's
I
gonna be
think
way
people
better
cheating the
shit
game
now,
too,
bro.
though. I think people cheating the
Yeah,
game too. Like, I know back before our times, like people
yeah,
were eager to get to the varsity level, or were eager to get to the. Nowadays, like if they not good enough, bro, their parents is taking them back one. So,
yeah.
um,
Oh yeah, cheat. Yeah.
cheating, like they
What
just
they call it? Reclassing.
reclassing. Yeah, like,
Hey,
but
when did that shit start? I learned
man,
that shit out here with these kids I'm
I
training.
seen this one. I seen this one dude. He was like, I seen him on the gram or something. Like he was like a 6'9", 14-year old, bro.
Yeah.
Like
They
ain't no 14-year-old 6'9", fam. So
reclassing and shit. This shit
yeah,
is
but
crazy.
like I mean, I know mugs that was 20 years old in high school, man. Like
Yeah.
I was 17. Like
Yeah.
you let me
It's
be 20
crazy.
in high school, I'd have been actually good.
It's crazy, bro. But I feel like it definitely is. It's way more, but it's so much more eventually. Like that's the goal, is to get better, right? So of course we're gonna have way more athletes that's better now, and the
My
game is
biggest
just
thing though is
get
this:
better.
if people stay where they was from, like nowadays, that's what I fight, or that's what I'm seeing the most. Like,
Oh yeah,
bro, I don't care what nobody says, man. If
yeah.
Corey Lipkins, Jalen McElroy, Darren Peterson, Reed Sims, and all those guys were together, it'd have been a wrap.
Oh
Like
my god, what?
Sincere Harris would have been
Should be
over at Hoover, and
crazy.
JoJo Harris, Ray Moore, all them cats, bro. If they would have
Yeah,
stayed, like it would have been just the same shit as it was back in the thousands, man. It just didn't happen
hell
like
yeah.
that, bro. It just didn't happen like that.
It's just changing now. But I could say from my perspective. I mean, not as far as like moving in Ohio, but I know as far as like uh my perspective on like moving is like sometimes people
It's
don't
needed.
fuck with back home. Like
I
there's
agree.
no way I would ever live in Stark County, bro. Ever. You see, when I'm come home, I mean, there are 2 days max. So it's just like I would never have my kid, because it's just like so many people, like y'all said, negativity, hating, simple minded. And it's like it's good stuff there. I would definitely want my kids to grow up
It's better
there and
places
like,
out here, bro. Better
yeah,
places
but it's
out
just like, yeah, so that's why it happens a lot. I mean shit, even like people going to different schools there, like they just don't want their kids to be around certain people. And it's just that's how it end up like that. But definitely like to make it like that, that would be a perfect picture for sure. Like if all the kids where we from end up going back and being from Ohio and playing in Ohio, putting Ohio on the map, that should be lit.
here. But
But
I believe in the
you
prep
change
schools.
that
Like
shit.
I believe in people going to better schools 100%. Like, you
Yeah,
know, even when Darren and them would ask, like, what do you think? Go prep.
yeah,
It's not even a question. But that's
yeah.
for you, though.
Right.
Some of these kids that's leaving shouldn't
Just
be
leaves.
leaving. Yeah, like,
Yeah,
why are you the guy that's leaving somewhere, bro? You was
yeah,
starting varsity as a freshman. I'm not
yeah,
saying you have Power 5 looks or anything like. For a kid like Darren, he has to go there, because the time spent on the floor. You know, you have your gap periods, your off periods where the coaches can come and visit and you can work on your body and extra stuff like that, because you know you getting ready for the league right now. And
yeah,
but like certain guys really would have thrived locally. Like
yeah,
your game would have expanded the most there.
yeah,
Like you
yeah,
weren't a guy that needed to go somewhere else to try to get more love or anything like that, because Hey, they might
Yeah,
have taken the ball out of your hands, or they would have made you more systematic,
yeah,
more robotic. Like if you would have just stayed in the city, bro, they would have gave you the pill. You would have had the ball in your hands for 4 years. Like
yeah,
CJ and them, like I mean, just to put it in perspective, but they was at the same school as you. They was just focused on winning and putting in work. Like
yeah,
nowadays, like people are, well, let me go to St. D because they think it's gonna get them more love. That's not the way. That's not how it works, bro.
yeah. That shit, it happens, bro. It's always 50-50 with shit like that. Cause like even the transfer portal in college, bro, like it's always pros and cons. It's like you got kids that getting fucked over that should be able to transfer, and then you got kids that just don't like somewhere and just want to leave, and it don't even make sense why they leaving, like you said. So like
Mugs
it's
want to edit,
always that.
man. Mugs
Yeah,
want to edit.
it's always pros and cons to that shit for sure. Definitely. You got anything else?
I will say like just no questions, but just I do appreciate like what you do, and you know it, but like what you doing is really big. Like you really do save like a lot of lives, and people might not think it's that deep, but like you really do like save a lot of lives, like
Yeah, man, for
because you
sure.
keeping kids in that gym is like big. Just keeping kids with you is like big because like they're not in the streets, they're not around that negativity, around the wrong things. Like what you're doing is big, and like I you know that, but like just to remind you, like what you're doing is big, and it's appreciated by the ones who do know. Like it's appreciated. So that's all.
For sure, man. I appreciate that, man. Like, I try to stand on that, bro, because I mean, I had kids in situations where numbers don't lie, man. It was you was gonna be a statistic. It's just what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
If my dad went to jail and my brother went to jail, what you think's gonna happen?
yeah, yeah.
And now,
We from there, so we know for
like,
sure.
you got kids that's bro getting a scholarship.
Yeah,
Like, you forget about how important that is
yeah. I was the
just to get
first
a
person to go to
scholarship.
college in my family, bro.
And guess what that did for you, man? Like, regardless of football, that put a
Yeah,
different notion on your family, fam. Like, that did something
hell
for
yeah,
your family, bro. Like, when you have somebody that's maybe a varsity basketball player and go somewhere in college, man, like his nephew, like
yeah.
his people around him are gonna look at that. Like, I came from a very small town, man. So like, Division 4 school. Like my cousins and his friends
Mm-hmm.
look at me how everybody else should.
Mm-hmm.
They look at me like, man, I love this kid, man. I want to be like, I want to do stuff like that.
Yeah,
So me, I'm just giving hope to them. Like
yeah,
I was never trying to come out here and persuade or put on some type of front that I wanted. Man, I just really wanted a platform to help kids and inspire, man. Like, obviously doing the same thing, so are you, G. So I
yeah,
think as men, bro, we just got to keep doing it and keep supporting each other. Like, man, even if it's a text or a call every now and again, like, I know what y'all going through, bro. And if y'all ain't going through it yet, man, it's gonna come.
hell
like,
yeah, for sure.
like where you gonna hit that wall, bro? Like, my first 4 years in the game was so easy. Like, it was
Yeah,
fun. Like now it's just like, damn, I'm not trying to even please my kids anymore. I'm trying to please other people. Like,
yeah,
and just creating that circle, man, that avenue of letting people know, like, bro, we just like y'all, fam. We
yeah.
we
Everybody the same, bro.
we all the same. Ain't no difference between me and you.
As as far as emotions and blood and all that shit, everybody human. Say the same shit. It just come from different avenues at different times in life, for
For
sure.
sure.
And I wasn't the first person to go to college. Chop was. I was the first person to graduate college, though. Just so if you hear this.
man.
But
Take it
no,
here. Hold on, man.
I
I ain't gonna
appreciate
lie
you
though.
coming on, though,
I
bro.
was like the
For
first one
real.
not to graduate college. So shit.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you coming on though, for real. Like he said, bro, I'm proud of what you do. All you do for them kids, bro, because all that shit is gonna come back to you, and far as good blessings and gifts, like all that shit is gonna come back to you in some type of way. And not even saying that you looking for it or you doing it for that. It's just gonna come because of the person you are. Like this, like you said, the character, all that shit shows through your character. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So I'm happy for you, and definitely just keep on going, bro. I know you said mentally you trying to gain back that confidence and shit again with yourself. But like I said, you gotta find that solitude and just remember who you are, And definitely hit me up if you ever want to talk too, bro. Like I'm always open to talk for sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. I definitely wanted that platform to come on there, man. I like the idea that y'all got going, man, with the different views because it's a lot of different views out here. Um,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, shit. Seeing that it's crazy because like the way you started at Steubenville. It's like I ain't even know that. But then like you saying you moved hella times, I moved hella times. It's like
man, I
it's
think that's
crazy.
the I think that's like it's tough, man. I mean, a lot of people don't understand that, man. Like bouncing around,
Yeah,
but I think it's important to kind of take the time to get to know somebody, fam. Like genuinely, not just judging
yeah,
them by their work or how they act. Like
yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
definitely taking a step back and understanding people's family upbringings and how they grew up and stuff like that is important, man. And I think that's what changed the perspective on somebody.
Yeah,
So
that's why we
I'm
wanted to do this. That's
and that's
exactly
what I'm
why.
saying, man. So y'all's platform is perfect, man, and I hope people continue to tune into it because I think it can change a lot of perspective on me, you, and you, like,
Yeah,
and show our generosity and our heart, bro, because it's important. A lot of times we don't have a voice like that. Like
yeah,
sometimes as people, you just want to grind and steady yourself and just prove them by your work. But I
yeah.
do think sometimes it's needed that you take a step back and actually talk about the shit that you do and who you are. So yeah, man,
100%.
definitely, man. I thank y'all for allowing me to be on there, man. That's dope.
Yeah, for sure, bro. Stay blessed.
No doubt. I'm gonna holler at y'all.
All right, bro.
Yeah.